Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel here. It's the Mac, and welcome back to a little showcase of a game called Lock and Load Tactical. It's one of the games I play a lot off camera actually. And the game is published by Lock and Load Publishing as well. Now, this is sort of a very fun game I recently discovered. It's actually a pretty old game, I gathered. It's actually based on a board game from the start that's been around for like 20 years or something. I used to play a lot of board games back in the day, but haven't for many years because of computers and other things happening in life. But this is a very fun game, so I want to put that up on the channel because if you're looking for something a bit different, this is definitely something cool. I really enjoyed this game, and I've just started to scratch the surface of it. It's as I said before, based on a board game. There is tons of stuff published for this game, but the digital version has basically all of it as well published. So it's really cool adaptation of this board game. It really works really well, digital as well. So it's sort of a squad-based tactical game. You are commanding mostly half squads and full squads, single vehicles, airstrikes, artillery, mortar fire, individuals like leaders, medics, heroes, chaplains, and all kinds of stuff. It's sort of a small scale skirmish combat. It sort of reminds a lot of Advanced Squad Leader. Many people I've read on forums have it's a pretty good adaptation of Advanced Squad Leader, basically. So this game, I bought it on Steam. I think that might be the only place you can buy it. I'm not sure. I haven't looked it up, but it was sometimes it's on sale and stuff. You can get it pretty cheap, but the core game, and then there's tons of DLCs that you can add onto this game to make it a pretty huge affair. So this is what the game looks like when you fired it up. You get here, and you have a bunch of options. So basically, I haven't at all done anything with this online network play, but I guess you could just hook up with somebody and duke out a scenario online through the Steam servers or the Lock and Load servers. I'm not sure, but I haven't tried it. I gotta say though, the AI in this game is pretty good. It's kind of a challenge, man. So I think you should first try to master the AI and then fight somebody. So this is what it looks like here, man. So you have like your Steam connection there. You have direct on Steam there. You have settings. Actually workshop here. Go to the Lock and Load Tactical Dealer Workshop to subscribe to. Yes, you can get user-created scenarios, which is pretty cool. Discussions, and you have an online library, which is massive. I'll show that. Actually, I'll show that now. We can just go right into that. It's huge. Right, so this is what you get, man. Every single manual and rulebook and DLC published for the games at this very state. So many rules. It's kind of a huge game, man. And the cool thing about it is it's you don't have to read all these books to know how to play the game when you play it on a computer. So all that's done for you, all the calculations, all the dice rolls and everything, which saves a lot of time. Just jump right into the action. But this is probably a pretty good board game, I would imagine. If I ever get the chance of trying this game out, I probably will do that as a board game. But you see they have a Lock and Load the Court rule handbook. They have a starter kit. And then they have something called Lock and Load Core Rules Officer. I think these are even more deeper. So these are sort of standard rules, starter kit, and these are for the hardcore ones. Here's a guide. Here's something called hotkeys. They have a solo. So obviously you will be playing solo on the digital version. But if you have the board game, you can actually get like a module that you could play the game in solo mode. That's very popular these days. The solitaire games have risen a lot. I think it was also due to the Corona pandemic. Many people wanted to, still play their favorite games, but they couldn't hang out with their buddies. So they created a lot of solo systems for you to sort of play at home by yourself. So there is a solo thing for it. And all these are sort of different themes. So the game spans from the 1930 to modern day combat, basically. So there's nothing from First World War and things like that. It's 1930 and onwards, basically. So they have a lot of from Vietnam, Korea, obviously Second World War, and Afghanistan, and I think there's some Kuwait as well. Iraq and stuff like that. I think there might even be a Cold War. I think I might be ahead of myself. We're going to go into the game. Oh, they have the Falklands. It's pretty cool. So we'll go into the game. You have a different view of it. So they have all that library you can check out. Hours and hours of reading there. So they have obviously load tutorials. They have a tutorial section, 6 scenarios or sort of 6 situations that you learned how to play the game. Basically, if you play these, you know how to play the game. That's what I did, and so this is all you need basically to jump into the game and learn the mechanics of it. So pretty cool. Do recommend people to play this. And of course, they have options, sort of settings of the game. I don't think I need to screw around with these. You can have different sort of dice if you want a small, large, floating dice. The game will actually roll dice for you in situations and stuff. Some graphics, interface. This is probably something you could, put to your own liking, what you really like. I haven't really looked at these so much. I think I like the game as it is, but there's probably some things you can tweak here to make it more to suit your sort of play style. Game rules. So these are all the optional rules. I have them all ticked in here because these are sort of enhancements of the game, and sure, why not? Just keep them. I think they're all selected by default. So key bindings, so if you have hotkeys and stuff. So, but the meat of the game is right here. So you go in here, and here are all your sort of modules that you have bought. I've only got the starter kit, which you get for buying the game. There's only 4 scenarios included in it, and they're all about. These are all second. Now, actually, 2 of them from the Second World War, and 2 are from the Vietnam War. And then there's all these modules you can get, so much. So I actually just bought the Battle Pack 1 for Normandy. And there's a Battle Pack 2 and a Battle Pack 3 as well. But I just bought the first one to get some more scenarios going here. So these are all about Normandy campaign. Doesn't say here, does it? There's no information here. Okay, so this says Battle of the Rhine. I think you have to go into the library I just showed. Heroes in Defiance. Okay, it's pretty cool. That might be sort of maybe the French. That could be actually pre-Vietnam, the Battle of Dien Bien Phu and all that. Falklands, Grenada, Health Frozen Over. Okay, Motherland, some Russian stuff there. Vietnam, North Africa, Pacific, Red Star. Okay. So there's this, as you can see, there's a bunch of stuff there. So, so if you go into the Steam page, the game on Steam, that you have all the options to buy stuff. There's something called the Battle Generator. I highly recommend you to get that. It's like a separate DLC. What the Battle Generator does is that you can. It's what it says, basically. You can set up, concerning the modules you have, the forces you have bought, and the different eras, you can do a random battle. And that really expands the game. Otherwise, you only have the scenarios to come. So, once you play the scenarios, you know them, you play them, and then that's, you're going to have to buy some new scenario packs. But the battle generator does, you can create endless battles. I think you can even do campaigns and stuff. Yeah, you can do a campaign, man. So, you can have a short campaign of 3 battles, 5 or up to 9 battles. Oh, 13 battles as well. That's pretty cool. And you can have like choose what kind of map you want. And here you choose the modules. So if you have the starter kit, I think you can only choose between so the Vietnamese, Vietnam fight, or the I think these are taking place in Normandy as well, the 44 there. You can have points for purchasing troops and stuff, and you just sort of, pick your side here. Choose your, this is a scenario length. You can change if you want to have more turns or as designed. Fog of War, and OP fire, that's opportunity fire prompted. That's pretty good for you to, if you want to select, if you want to do opportunity fire or not, if you want to save your shots and stuff. We'll go into that. Let's just try something, and we'll go into the game. So get the battle generator. I would recommend that. So, for instance, I have the Battle of Normandy here now. This DLC. I can choose to be the 101st Airborne, 82nd, or British Airborne. We have the Free French. As you can see, you could play the Germans, the Fallschirmjägers, the SS, or Germans combined. That will be sort of a combined Kampfgruppe, I would imagine. And then you choose the what module you want to have there. So aggressor, you choose which side is the advancing side. So pretty cool, huh? I mean, this really is massive on scale. I mean, it's like the old Steel Panthers I've showcased, and even campaign series where you have the battle generator. You could just sort of create endless battles and duke it out. I mean, that really, really increases the playability of the game. I mean, you could always fire something up, even though if you played all scenarios 100 times and you're sort of sick of them and you know them by heart, you can just do a random battle and fight something, with the same system. So that I love the battle generator stuff. I think that's really good for war games to be able to do your own custom battle. So let's just return to the main. I want to show something from the. So we're just going to go over something here. Oh, I might have already had that open. Yeah. Okay. So maybe I'll show the starter kit here. Let's see. Yeah. So this is very important here. So we'll go through it here. What the counters mean. So. This would be a squad. When it's more than one of like these soldiers on the marker, it's actually a full squad. But if there's only one guy on it, it's a half squad. So this is squad, right? So you have the identification badge. You have this is always the morale on the top of the counter. You have firepower, range, and movement. So. And this shaken would be, as in many war games, is disruption and stuff. This is when you've taken, your unit is disrupted. You can't fire. You can only sort of move out of combat to sort of recover and get back into it. So they explain lots of things here, like the red box. The red box around the indicator indicates assault movements. We'll go into that later on. That's stealth. Black box around the red orange indicate they have an extended range of 3 apparently. So these are probably assault squads. They have submachine guns. Their range isn't the best. So they take all that in, because here they have the half squad. So half squad is only one soldier on the marker. Obviously, they have the same movement but less range apparently, and so, if you take a wound, if you take a casualty here, you will lose First, you will move from full squad to half squad, and then the unit will be eliminated, basically. So, crews, and then they have the single marker ones, the heroes. They also have sort of the same. They have firepower, inherited firepower. If you have a hero and stuff with the unit, you'll get bonuses for firepower and stuff, range, movement factor. Lots of stuff, man. Snipers are deadly. They have good range, really good to use. So it goes on, man. So there's you have mounted units, motorcycles. So the vehicles is different. They have morale, and then they have a high explosive equivalent. This is the facing of the marker, that little red arrow. So they have the armor of the front hull, the flank hull, the rear, inside passengers. That's an M2, so that is the unit name. Lots of things here, man. So some of this stuff is complicated, but it's sort of, you know, you'll learn it as you play. They have a tank, an M4A1 Sherman. So they have movement factor. They have 10 movements. So all this stuff is explained here if you're like struggling. Crew weapons. Lots of good stuff, man. Airstrikes, stuff like that. So it's all here. Really, really good to look up. Yeah, what else to say about this grade? Just fire something up. So let's take something from the starter kit, what you get from the core game. So the first scenario is something called Rejoining the Regiment. So this one's pretty fun. It's France, June 6, 1944. During the initial hours of the Allied invasion, widely scattered German forces confusedly rushed to consolidate and defend key positions. They often encountered advancing Allied troops or airborne units along the way. Often these German troops weren't German at all, but Russians and other POWs pressed into military service. In this scenario, the fleeing remnants of an infantry platoon of the 795th Ost Battalion must break through a roadblock set up by detachment of the 506th Pier to rejoin their parent regiment before American reinforcements arrive. This would be kind of a fast scenario. It would be fun to just sort of basically, they have a little bit of everything here. Movement, there's a lot of movement in this, and of course ambush and fire and stuff. So they have the order of battle for the Americans is elements of the 1st Battalion of the 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment, the 101st Airborne Division. So they have squads and half squads. They have a captain, and they have this is like a 30 caliber machine gun and BARs. And the Germans have 2 squads and 3 half squads. Sergeant Baumann, an MG-34, Lieutenant Plasman in that force there. So 5 turns. The Germans have the initiative on turn 1. So the German player must exit at least 2 full squads, equivalent, and 1 leader from hex H8 by the end of turn 5. Any other result is an American victory. So this is a tough one for the Germans. They're going to have to push through this roadblock set up by the Americans. But the Germans are sort of outnumbering the Americans. So you have to think strategically and maneuver your troops. So let's give this one a try. You can see graphics and stuff. So I'm actually going to be playing. I'll play the Americans in this one. So the scenario balance is as designed. We have Fog of War is full, and open fire is prompted. So let's just fire it up, and you guys can see this game. Right. So there's always a setup phase in every scenario. So what you do here, this is a scenario. As you can see, I'm just going to zoom out. So this is the map we're going to be playing this battle on. I think the graphics are really good. You can zoom in all the way in here. Very slick graphics. I really enjoy the graphics in this game. It's really cool. And you can sort of zoom out to get the tactical idea what's going on. So, what do we got here? We got a couple of roads that are, this looks like a small sort of town or village. And it says, we're joining the regiments. And the German player must exit at least two full squads equivalent, and one leader. So they have to get 2 full squads and a leader out of hex H8. So that is hex. Here we have H8. So they probably are entering somewhere on the top border, and they have to try and infiltrate and get through here and exit. This is their exit hex right here. So, and they have to do that by turn 5. So exit units by the end of turn 5. So they 1 leader and 2 squads. The Germans arriving immediately. So what options do we have as an American now? We have a setup phase. So these are my forces. I had a leader, Captain Medro. I have a captain present. So his morale is 6 and his movement is 6. He has a star shell capability, but this is taking place during daytime, so we're not going to use that. He cannot control victory hexes, but he may assault move as well. Right. So, and we have a half squad. Yeah, firepower 2, range 2, movement 6, and morale 6. And we have another half squad. Actually, is this guy a leader or what? No, that's a half squad there. We have 1 full squad. These guys here. Range 5, 4 movement 6. So we have this is a half squad. So this is a half squad as well. So we have 2 half squads. This squad here has the 30 caliber machine gun with them. So you can, in setup phase, you can have that machine gun set up or be ready on the move. So you can decide that. This squad, full squad, has a BAR as well. So you could shift weapons around if you want. You could put that machine gun maybe in something else, or the BAR can be there. BAR, I think even the leader can use a BAR. So you have options. So let's zoom out a bit. Right, so terrain is very important in line of sight, as in all war games. So there's certain things to be thinking about here. It's like if I hold this mouse over that, you will see in the top left corner there, it says it's a single-story building. It's blocking terrain for line of sight, and it has a defense modifier. Because it's a building. It's actually a stone building, so it's a heavy building. These are wood buildings, light cover it's called. This is heavy cover, light cover, and you have less sort of defense. It's also blocking terrain. Buildings can catch fire and stuff as well. It's pretty cool. Here you have a hex surrounded by, it's light woods, but there's also a stone wall surrounding this. So obviously if you have troops here, you get defense modifiers because of the stone wall. Not through here, of course. You'll have just the defense of the woods. So many cool things. So what I need to do now is basically, these are, if I click my hex, these are the only hexes I'm allowed to deploy troops in this scenario. So I'm very limited here. I could put some units in these buildings and in this heavy building here. So I'm gonna make a plan. So obviously this, you can check line of sights as well. Like if I press this and click on the hex, you can see what I can actually see from here. So this is a very good. This is covering the roads, all entries to this position here. This is obviously a dead zone, but they could cover even over here. So, and so this would probably be a good place to put my 30 caliber in there. I can't do it, but what I can do is have my 30 caliber ready to be on the move, so I'll have the weapon dismounted, and then I can, because it's when it's actually deployed, it's immobile. I can't move it, so I could have a half squad accompanying that 30, and this full squad here. So I need to select it. I could have a full squad in this building, for instance. They could try to make their way up there. This will probably be a pretty good lookout place. Yeah, they have pretty excellent field of fire here from this position, covering this whole road. Obviously dangerous though. The enemy can advance and cover and attack us, but they will be pretty hard for them to attack from this position here. And my leaders are very important. Leaders, if you get disrupted and stuff, the leader really helps to get your units back in order. Otherwise, you can try to rally your forces, but it's much harder. And the leader also adds bonuses to your firepower and stuff. So you get bonuses for having a leader, as in many war games. Basically, it's no difference here. So we'll put the full squad in that building, and they will try to make their way up there, and these guys will make their way up to the north of this building, and we'll see what the Germans do. So the Germans will have first initiative in this. They will start them. They will automatically start, and then every subsequent turn you have an initiative dice rolls, and you'll see who starts. So let's start scenario. Yeah, we know the Germans have the first. So how the game is made up, it's actually made up in different phases. So there's a couple of phases to a turn, basically. We have 5 turns to complete this, but in every turn there are phases. And you can only activate 1 unit per phase. So if I were to do something with this squad here, for instance, if I want to do something with these guys, for say, I want to get them, so you just click the unit and they are selected basically. And now you can see how they can actually move pretty far. Remember, they have 4 movement points, and it only costs 1 on the roads. And it costs, it does say up there in that box, I think it costs like 2 extra movement points to get into that building. So they would get in there and have 1 movement point left, basically. So when they have acted, my phase is over, and I have to pass the phase over to the enemy, and they get to activate 1 unit, and that's how you play until every unit has been activated, and then the turn ends when no unit has. And if you pass 3 times, if you don't want to do anything, your turn will end, basically. So that's how the sort of turn sequence works. There is a difference. So the leaders can activate units. They could use their leadership to activate forces to move out if they are within command range. I think they have to be 1 hex. 1 hex is about 50 meters in this game, I think. I hope I'm not lying now. Is it 10 meters? I can't remember. I'm gonna have to look it up. So leaders can activate forces if they are within command range. Now I don't know why. I should be able to sort of activate. We can lay smoke, right? We can deploy. We can assemble the support weapon as well. But I want to just. You can low crawl. Okay, you can sort of make him move slow. You can crawl into a space without moving. Standing up, you obviously be more easy target for the enemy to fire at. But we want to get. I want to actually move the whole stack. I want to get them. I can't do that. Okay, why not? Okay, I probably has to move 1 unit then. All right. Really? It looks like I can move everyone except the commander. No, I can. All right. So we're gonna move the whole stack in there. And I think we can actually assemble our gun here now. Yeah, so now the 30 caliber is set up. to fire, basically. But they have moved now. As you can see, there's a little icon here. That means they have moved and spent their actions. So these guys will not be able to do any opportunity fire because they are moving into this position and setting up that machine gun. Even if enemy units would be coming here, they would not be ready for opportunity fire because everything is happening simultaneously. So they are actually moving in, setting up the machine gun while the Germans are passing here. Maybe they wouldn't be able to fire and stuff. So you gotta think like a turn-based game, but it all happens simultaneously. All right, so they moved. Now I can't do anything else. If you right-click on a hex, you deselect. So I can't move these guys now, so I have to end my pulse. And the Germans get to go. I say, we're already spotting some Germans there. There's some forces. There's actually 2 half squads that moved into this building here. They have 5 morale. So they're a bit less. These, remember it said in the description, they were from the Ostbataillon. So these are probably prisoners forced to fight for the Germans, basically. So they just moved into that building, and apparently we can see them from there. So this squad here, I'm going to try and get them into that building. And I'm going to just sit tight in that building. It's a pretty good, it's a heavy covered building there. That's probably heavy, that's light cover, okay. We can end the impulse again. Now I've moved all my forces, I can't do anything else. So remember they said in the description that the Germans are actually outnumbering us. So, all right, so here we go. And as you can see, I can't do anything now. All my forces have acted, so all I will have to do is pass. Apparently the Germans still have stuff to move. Okay, he's moving in a huge force here now. He's got a leader and 3 half squads and 1 full squad in that building. That's a lot of forces in there. So we're going to pass. He still has stuff. Oh, look at that. He's moving. So you can already now sort of understand the tactics in this game. Obviously, there is a bonus, a good to advance fast and take terrain, but at the cost, because the enemy could anticipate your moves and then strategically place their forces. You got to think like that the whole time, basically how to, because you can only activate 1 unit at a time. So what's this? Wow, he's got a full squad, and that's the full squad with the MG34. That's actually a sort of a light version. I don't think they can. They don't have the tripod stand for that, but they only have the normal stand for it. So, but still, that's a pretty big force facing. Very few forces here. Let's pass again. And now the Germans didn't do anything, and we can't do anything, so we're going to have to pass and end. The Germans won the next initiative as well. So what you're greeted by now is something called a rally phase. So obviously you could do certain things in this phase. For instance, my options are, if I select this squad here, I could, in this sort of a free phase, to do something outside of the actual events of the action. So I could disassemble my support weapon, for instance, in this turn, and be ready to just move out if I wanted to. I can destroy my weapon if I feel like I need to retreat really fast and I don't have time. That would probably be in just sort of in a panic mode. So this is the selected the square, and if I select, now everything is selected there. So I'm not going to do anything, and none of my units are shaken or anything, so I don't need to do rallying, so I'm just going to continue. Now the Germans get to go first. So he's advancing now. All right, so here's the action, right? So he's moving out in the open with his full squad with that MG. They're advancing. They're probably going for this building here, because that is actually that could be heavy, probably light cover. I can't actually see now, but so now I have an option here. I have a half squad and a 30 caliber machine gun. So if I hover over here, actually here it says what kind of chances I have. So I have a firepower +2. I have an additional firepower +2. Leadership doesn't give me any bonus. The target is moving. That is a negative for me. He's moving, so we're going to have a harder chance of hitting. But we still have a 97.2 chance of causing a damage check to the enemy, which is pretty high. He's in very close range as well. I could sort of, say that I don't want to fire and just see if he gets even closer, and then decide to open up fire. And here I can select what I want to use. So I might want to use all my firepower on that for now, because when I have fired, I've spent my opportunity fire, and if he doesn't get pinned down or shaken or anything, he can still move, and we can't fire with anything. And then he can move that force in, and we have already fired, so we're going to be an open target for that unit to advance. So I'm just going to open fire with my 30 caliber on this group, and it says I have an 83 now %. So I have a +2. They're in clear terrain. They were moving right over an open road, so they have no bonuses to defense on anything. And but he's moving, so that's a +2 for me on my dice roll, and a firepower +2, which is good. So I'm just going to fire with my 30 caliber machine gun. We'll see what happens. So I rolled a 1, which is lousy. He rolled 2, but we still caused a damage check on him. So these are going to pass pretty fast. They're going to be hard to explain. So damage check +2. So his leader got shaken. Now he saw me. He opens up with all his squads here. He's fired at me. But we have really good cover. So yeah, those I still don't know how to pause those. That come up that explain the fire, but basically, so they moved out, my 30 caliber opened up, and the leader got shaken. He's sort of, pinned down, and the squad wasn't able to carry on moving. And he actually fired with all his men fired down on this building, but he didn't cause anything on us, so we're fine. That means all these units have acted this turn. So we have an option now. I still have my half squad in here that can actually fire on these guys. We still have I can also run out and try and do melee, which probably would be suicide since I only have a half squad. He has a full squad there. It does tell me the odds. It says I have an attacking odd 2 to 3. I have a 41% chance of success. He has a 58% chance for his counterattack, so pretty self-explanatory there. We will not be able to take him out. I mean, he has the odds in his favor. But if I left click, I will fire with that half squad instead. And it says I have a direct fire. We have a firepower +2. We don't get any bonus for our leaders. The target is still moving, so we have a +1 there. And there's an 83.3 chance of causing a damage hit, which is pretty high. So we're gonna fire with a half squad. Since now he didn't do anything with these guys, so I'm just gonna fire here. Rolled good, rolled high. He got wounded. He had to do damage check, so we wounded, and he got a shaken effect as well. So he took a wound and a shake. So they're all sort of really pinned down here now. Took some damage, so that's good. And that's all we can do. Now we have acted here. We can't activate these guys. We're gonna have to end the impulse. I think the Germans don't have anything else to do now. Now I have a full squad down here. I don't know what they can see. They can't see anything there. So he decided to attack from here. So what I should do is probably move this force to engage. Since I have 4 movement points, I can actually go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can actually initiate a melee on this force. we could run out with this whole squad and sort of attack this pinned force and have... The thing about having a shaken result is that you have basically no defense in this game. If you are in that condition, if someone assaults you, you are basically automatically defeated. That's something to keep in mind. Now, I could do that. I could destroy this force completely with this force here. I have an automatic win. It says no melee eligible defenders. They can't defend themselves, and they will be automatically eliminated. But that would end my turn with my full squad on the streets, and that unit there could open up and kill a bunch of my Americans. So I gotta be careful here. I could move into here with the full squad and sort of engage the enemy. I will not be able to fire this turn, but I could just move them up. Or I could just go for a charge, kill them, and then retreat back into this house. I mean, if I am lucky enough to win, to win my initiative roll. So I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go and try and kill these guys, and then hopefully I'll win the next initiative, and I'll retreat my forces into this building. So let's go. Let's see. You can see a melee as well. So that was an automatic win. We just charged those guys on the road, killed them, shot them to pieces, and that concludes my turn. And we'll see what happens. And the Germans didn't do anything. We can't do anything, so we're just going to pass. And we actually won the initiative. We first have a rally phase, and there's nothing to rally. And I don't want to move or anything. Just disassemble my machine gun here, so I just want to keep it there. So we get the first go, which is great. Problem is though, as we move in here, the Germans are going to get an opportunity to fire on us. And another thing, you see they're grayed out now? That means there's no line of sight in these forces in the building. That's basically all these guys are taking cover under windows, behind walls. You know, they're not showing their, they're not very visible. They're hiding in that building. They're taking automatic cover. So you're going to have to try and spot them. So if, for instance, if I wanted to do something so these guys can't see them, actually. Yeah, no, they can, okay. If I would take this force here, my leader has an ability of spotting the enemy. So if I would right click here, we only have a 33% chance of actually spotting the enemy and engage in fire. So pretty low chance, but I want to get these guys out of harm's way. So I could actually do a different kind of moves. I can do an assault move, change move mode to assault move. Units that assault move can move at half speed and fire with a penalty after their movement. Using this move mode and firing before moving performs an assault fire action, which marks the hex they depart as spotted. Okay, I can do a low crawl. Change move mode to low crawl. Low crawling units can only move one hex, but are not automatically spotted after their movement unless they are in open terrain or adjacent to an enemy unit. That would be an option. I could try that and low crawl into this building. And we're not spotted apparently, so that's good. We'll end the impulse. See what the Germans do now. So he's coming out, right? So he's baiting me now. He's moving. He's only moving a half squad. He's actually using his leader though, and he can't see me either. He hasn't spotted me yet because I was grayed out to him as well. Because these guys haven't fired or moved or anything. So he's moving them out. He's hoping for me to probably engage him in fire. And then these units will be able to engage me without having to spot me, basically. There's a 97% chance of causing damage. He is actually moving his hero, I mean his leader, which is good. If I kill him, he will struggle a lot with the rest of his forces. So I'm going to open up with my 30 cal on this range. Actually, we have an 83% chance now since I took away the squad. So we're going to fire at that unit. We rolled a 2. He rolled a 1. That was bad for him. So his leader got shaken. Damage checks, and he's no effect though. He didn't take any damage, but his leader got. See, now he saw me, so he's gonna open up on me. But it's very hard for him to take me out here. I think I have heavy cover here, so we are in good cover. So I still have my half squad here that can do something. They can fire. Keep firing at these guys, or they can try and fire at them. No, they can't. No, they can't. All right, they're not in range, probably. No, we only have range 2 with these guys. They only have a range of 2, so they can only engage them. Which we will. We'll fire with my half squad there. We have got a 4. He got a 2. He did a damage check, so 4 less or equal, so he passed it. And he did a damage check, so that was only light fire coming from that half squad. So he passed. We're going to end the impulse. And he's used all his units, so we're going to pass. Now the Germans won the initiative, so he's rallying. He got shaken here, so he failed his rally check. He rolled 10, he needed to roll 7 or below, so he failed his rally check. So that leader is still shaken. And we get the option, as usual, if we want to do something with our machine gun, we just want to keep it there, so we just go continue. And now the Germans get to go first. He passed. He didn't do anything. Okay, so he just basically passed his turn. He's just want to see what I'm doing here. So, so I could go for a bum rush again and assault these guys, but then these guys will open up on me. They have an opportunity to fire, so I won't do that. And the initiative is, I mean, the pressure is on the Germans to get down here and exit the hex. So I'm basically in no hurry to do anything. I'm just going to wait for him to move out. So. We're going to pass as well. We're going to see what the Germans do. So he's moving out. He's moving one of his half squads into there. So I could now use all these units to fire because these guys haven't done anything yet, and I could wait with them. See what he does. He actually has a full squad in here as well. I'm going to go with full firepower here. So we rolled, wow, we rolled high here. Yeah, he got a wounded. Casualties, so one of his half squads got eliminated. And the other one as well. That was some good firepower. We rolled a 6 there, so that was pretty good. And he's firing back. He rolled good there as well. But we actually passed. There's a fire, and the fire started in the building here. So now it's going to be dangerous for us to stay here. We're going to have to try to pull out from this building here. Right, so we killed a bunch of guys there. He's acted. So I still have my full squad. I could take the fight to the Germans and move in here. Or just try. I can actually fire at these guys. We only have a 41% chance of causing a damage check. We have only 3 firepower, but he has 3 defense as well, so it's going to be tough. But we could try and kill his leader. So we'll just fire at him. We rolled a 5. He rolled a 3, so he got killed. Yeah, we killed that guy, the last guy there. So. And that is the end of the impulse there. So we're going to end it. He's done as well. So obviously, we're going to pass until the next turn. We're at turn 4 now. So we got a damage check because of the fire. But no effect on us. Yeah, so we didn't take any effect. This building is on fire. Germans get to go first. He has a rally phase. So do we. So I would probably want to pack up my machine gun in this turn. And get ready to move out of this hex since it's on fire. So we're going to continue. So the Germans are moving out. He's moving out his half squad. I have an option of firing at him. I will pass it. You can pass the fire. Now he moved another hex down there. So I'm going to use these guys to shoot at him. They have a 100% chance of causing a damage check. So they're adjacent, target is moving, and they're firepower +3. So very high chance of... We rolled a 1, which is lousy, but he rolled a 2. So he got it shaken. And yeah, we only got a shaken result. So he's firing at me now. He rolled a 1, which is lousy. So nothing happened. Looks like the fire ended. Well, that's good. Here I have this activate adjacent hexes. So this leader here can activate. Maybe them. They can be activated again. He will use his turn to activate those guys. Probably can. Let's try that. Oh no, we can't. They already moved. All right, so he can only activate if there was something not having done anything, I guess. I'm just gonna end my impulse. I think I'm just gonna see what happens here. He's already done, so we can actually fire. I could move these guys though. Don't see the point now since the fire actually ended. So we're gonna stay here. I'm just gonna use the whole squad and fire, even though that is dismounted. That we're still gonna fire here and see what happens. So we rolled a 4. He rolled a 6. It's pretty good. So there was no damage on him. And that would end my impulse. It's turn 5 now. He failed his mission. Yeah, so we're joining the regiment. Victory Americans. Yeah, so that, I hope you guys got a good, understanding of it. Obviously, this game is deep, man. I mean, this is just a sort of a small squad, infantry action going on. But imagine, you have tanks, you have mortars, you can call in artillery, you have medics. Man, this game, it's got some real depth to it. So we pulled it off. We actually only won 1 of the initiatives. The Germans won 3 out of 4 initiatives. We didn't get any heroes generated. So heroes generated, you can get a hero generated if a squad takes damage and stuff. There could be like heroism. Somebody, from the squad takes the command and becomes a hero. And they're sort of like leaders as well. They grant big bonuses to the group. So that's a pretty cool feature. We got 6 enemy units shaken. None of ours ever got shaken there. The Germans failed one of their rally checks. We had 1 melee initiated and we killed 2 helpless enemies. So, and here there's like statistics of what kind of dice rolls we had. So, and we didn't take any damage. This is our group here. The Germans were basically all wiped out except that full squad that he had left in that building there. So we can check the map out, see what kind of forces you were facing and stuff. So these guys were still here. He had a full squad in that building. Everything else was killed, basically. He had a half squad here, so pretty cool, huh? So let's go back to the, yeah, we want to go back. So I'm going to end it here, actually. I just wanted you guys to see this game. Really cool game. I really enjoy it. If you want to see me play more from this game, I will do it. Just let me know in the comments and stuff. If I should try something with vehicles or just do random battle and see what's going on and stuff. This is a really fun game. I highly recommend you to get this if you enjoy like tactic squad based battles with a different kind of twist and graphics. Graphics are great, and different kinds of rules and stuff. But as I said, it's very easy accessible, this game. You don't have to plow through all those heavy rule books to understand this game. It's just basically just play the tutorials and get into it, and then look up stuff in the manual if you have things you're wondering about. You know, just but it's a very easy game to play and very accessible. So do check it out, man. Lock and Load Tactical. So I'm going to end the video here, and I will see you in the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Get this game. Sometimes it's kind of a cheap game, actually, and sometimes they have sales on Steam. You can get it pretty cheap, so do get it. All right, that's it for this video. So have a good one and stay safe.